We want to introduce the new Digital Humanities Initiative here at UNF. This is an informal association of faculty supported by various different entities on campus. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to talk briefly. Is Sherif back? Did he make it back? Maybe something came up. I'm going to talk briefly in general about the initiative, and then we're going to give a few examples of types of work that fit into the type of projects the initiative wants to support in terms of research and teaching. And then I'm going to finish up with just a brief preview of some events that we have coming up in the future. One of the first questions that comes up is, what are the digital humanities? It's hard to say. So I've come up with a few adjectives I think we can use as sort of guides. It's an interdisciplinary field, defies traditional disciplinary boundaries. It's a field that's very methodological. In other words, people working in the digital humanities are producing research. They're producing final products, but they're also thinking about what are the methods that we need to generate, to create, to do that type of work. I think to the same point, it's a theoretical field. People working in the digital humanities are thinking about how do we think about cultural production in a digital age? How do we engage with these objects? I think all that brings us to the notion that it's a transformative field. The digital humanities, in a very broad sense, is changing the way people do research, changing the way people think about research, and it's an evolving field. It's something it's in motion. It's very difficult to pin down. People often talk about the digital humanities more as a collection of practices than trying to define it in the way that we define traditional academic disciplines. The Digital Humanities Initiative wants to do a few things. We want to promote collaboration on this type of project at UNF. We want to coordinate events that will help faculty get started with this type of work. We want to engage students both in the classroom and outside of the classroom on digital humanities projects. And we want to start a larger conversation about what is the future of this type of endeavor here at UNF. Who's involved? I'm not going to read all these department names off, but as you can see, there are a lot of different departments from COAS represented on our advisory committee, also the College of Business, Education and Human Services, the School of Computing, of course, CERT, Office of Faculty Enhancement, ITS, and the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs, and the Thomas Carpenter Library are all playing very central roles in getting this initiative going. Why is this important? I think we can think about this on three levels. One, I think it's important for faculty because for many of us in many different fields, this is where the most cutting-edge research in our fields is going on. It enables us to get the foundation here locally to go off and participate in larger national and international conversations about the digital humanities. I think there's a clear benefit to students. I think on a variety of different levels, but especially if we think about it in terms of this gives students in humanities fields, as well as in social sciences and fine arts fields, the chance to do real hands-on work, working directly with faculty in a way that students in the hard sciences are more used to, but it's more difficult to find that type of opportunity for our students in humanities fields. I think as an institution, on an institutional level, this lets UNF participate in a conversation that's going on regionally at institutions here in Florida and nationally. I think it's an area which has clear benefit to us in terms of attracting talented faculty, attracting talented students, and designing academic programs that keep up with what's happening in the larger academic picture. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Ching-Hua. She's going to talk to us a little bit about her use, her use of technology in her research related to music.
Hi everyone, I'm Ching Quadrant from School of Computing, and let me start with a question. How many of you have heard Pandora Radio? Cool. How many of you used Shazam? Oh, cool. Yeah, so if you haven't used Shazam, let me tell you, this is really cool apps. So say that you go into a restaurant, you heard a song, you really like it, but you don't know what it is. All you need to do, just pull out your phone and open Shazam, and it listens, it recognizes the song. So, Pandora Radio and Shazam, they're the commercial product that originated from the research field called music information retrieval. So in this field, we essentially design computer programs and mathematical models to automatically analyze music for various purposes, such as recommending a song to you, the song that you never heard of, but maybe you would like. So a lot of us, many people have been enjoying this technology for their everyday music listening experience, but not many of us, not many of people realize that these technology can be used by music theorists and musicologists. So for example, me and my collaborator, we apply audio signal processing technique to analyze music recording, and we create a mathematical model and computational program to automatically retrieve very important music information, such as key, pitch, rhythm, timbre, and so on. And these features can be further used to analyze more high-level features such as motive, structure, genre, and styles. So by working together, the music theorists and the musicologists, they're able to apply their analysis in a much greater scale, and they're able to generate more statistically meaningful conclusions. Okay, so recently I started working on video analysis and gesture recognition. So I believe every one of us has been exposed to the technology of face recognition, right? So like on your digital camera, you have this small box try to help you to get the focus on people's face, right? So right now I'm working on a little bit more difficult problem called gesture recognition in the three-dimensional domain. So if you can see in the video, that was my student Eric, and he's demoing this program that we can identify the hand, recognize the hand shape, and try to trace the hand movement. So right now I'm working with Dr. Caroline Gardino in Deaf Education, and we are creating this interactive gaming mobile application for children who are deaf and hard of hearing, and their families to practice and learn American Sign Languages together. So what this gesture recognition component help us is to generate immediate feedback to the user, say that, oh, great, you did this well, after they perform the sign in front of the computer. Or try it again if the computer doesn't recognize the sign. So ultimately, we can use this program to collect more data about a user and try to figure out what's the best, most effective way to improve children the communicative and the language skills. So I would like to conclude my part of the presentation by pointing out the opportunities for digital humanities. So here are some of the projects awarded by the National Endowment for Humanities. You can see here the top two. They're basically applying the computational techniques to analyze music performances and the relationship between musicians. And the last one, it used the face recognition techniques to study, I think that's the historical art research. So as you can see here, there are many, many exciting interdisciplinary projects in digital humanities. And I hope that through this forum, more of you can join this trend and be part of the UNF Digital Humanity Initiative. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from Pfister of anthropology. She's going to talk to us about her use of the Photovoice research method with her students. Correct? In her research. My research. Sorry, she's going to talk about her work with students coming up.
Thanks. I think I might need that also. Okay, thanks. I'm sorry. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. McCarl. Let's see. So if I can figure out. So yeah, my research is, I'm an anthropologist. I'm in the Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Social Work here at UNF. I'm new faculty in the department. And my research is a participatory, I'm investigating the experience of deafness among deaf youth and their families in Mexico City, Mexico. And I use a participatory method called Photovoice. Essentially, what this method did was allow me to engage the entire cohort of 6th grade students at a semi-private deaf school in central Mexico City. It was a sign-based deaf school, one of only 3 in the greater metropolis of Mexico City. So we engaged 19 deaf youth. I worked with a deaf co-researcher and co-teacher for this project. We worked with participants who were aged 12 to 15 years old in 2 semester-long workshops. And the process of Photovoice basically involves training participants to use, in this case, digital cameras and very basic kind of principles of photography. And then what I wanted them to do was to help me answer some of my research questions. So I presented them with different research themes and prompts, and they responded to those prompts by taking photographs in their environments, right? So that the research was going beyond the confines of the school and out into the worlds, the social worlds of these youth. Then the students would come back, essentially these were kind of like homework projects, and they'd come back and share their photos, and in that process they're also kind of codifying those photographs and contextualizing them for us. At the end, the culminating project of this research was an exhibit that was housed in Mexico City and that I continue to work with in my research. So I'm an anthropologist, and one of the kind of at the heart of cultural anthropology is ethnographic research, which is participatory by nature and seeks to understand the emic or insider perspectives of our participants. So this visual method, it's a visual participatory method, and it also complemented what we consider more traditional ethnographic methods. And so by selecting this, I was trying to kind of gain entry into the visual understandings and visual conceptualizations of these deaf youth. So my original goal with this project was to illustrate the importance of Lengua de Señas Mexicana, or LASM, in these young people's lives using their images, their language, and their experiences. So moving forward, I'm working with the Digital Humanities Initiative, and what I'd like to do is I'm setting up a longitudinal research design. One of the nice things about working with digital images is that they're kind of a snapshot in one point in time, but they're also a springboard for working with participants in the future, because together we can reflect upon, you know, their thoughts at that time and also developments in these youth's lives. So my idea is to go back and continue working with these youth and their families. But what I'd like to do working with the Digital Humanities Initiative is to make this more interactive and also accessible, not only to my research participants, but also to people that are interested in deaf issues and ethnographic research more generally. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Aisha Johnson, who's the head of special collections, and I are going to talk briefly about a textual editing project that we're going to do next summer with students. So I'm going to hand the mic to Aisha so she can get us started.
Good morning. So, here we go. So in special collections, we have rare books dating back to the 1500s, special collections which are primary resource materials, personal papers, and manuscripts dating back to the early 20th century, and of course we house the university archives. For this particular collection project, we're going to use one of our most popular collections, which is the Eartha White collection. The Eartha White collection document ranges 1831 to 1974. Miss White was a philanthropist, social welfare and community leader here in Jacksonville, also involved in state politics as well as national philanthropy, very involved in a variety of things. So we found this to be the best collection because it is so large, and there's a number of correspondence, printed documents noted, all handwritten. So the project consists of students using a particular software to transcribe and make these texts available worldwide. This is something we've done in a way dealing with our digital commons, the library's digital commons. We've digitized some of these materials, but this is different because now we're using students to actually transcribe some of the actual text, the handwriting text. So he'll tell you about the technical part.
Thank you, Aisha. So the students are going to be working in what's called TEI XML, which is the standard today for textual encoding in the humanities. This is a screenshot of a completely unrelated text that I'm working on with a different set of students. But it's an implementation of XML, if you know what XML is. One of the things that it lets you do is present different presentations of the same source text, the same base text. So, for instance, these are two views of this. This is a 18th century Spanish document, but the first image is the actual diplomatic transcription of how it appears on the page. The second is a modernized Spanish version. I don't think that you can probably you can't probably distinguish them very well in this example, but that's the idea. Okay, so for the spring of 2016, we have a few events planned. We're going to do a panel discussion on technology and society on February 26th. We have a workshop, which is an introduction to TEI XML, what I just showed you, which will be open to faculty and staff to get started in this tool for textual encoding. And we're also going to do a workshop on story maps that Chris Baynard of Economics and Geography is going to lead. If you don't know about story maps, it's a tool related to GIS, which you can use to relate textual and images to geographical data. So you can build maps that show photos and text to tell stories. That's a very simplistic explanation, but that's the gist of it. I think it's something that has broad implications across a lot of different fields. In the spring of 2017, we're hoping that we can sponsor an interactive digital humanities showcase here at UNF to give faculty the chance to show some of the work that they're doing. I'm the interim director of this project, so if you have any questions, please feel free to write to me. If I can't answer your question, I will refer you to somebody who can. Thank you very much.